And good morning. Good Friday morning, beeps. Mercury retrograde is almost over, and I usually don't care about Mercury retrogrades, but this one's been extra spicy for me. And that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Well, you guys, happy Friday. It is kind of gloomy, wet. Thankfully, it is not, super cold. We've got that going for it, and it's kind of nice to, feels like spring. And I guess it is technically spring, but I keep thinking it should be summer by now, but it's definitely spring. Alrighty. We've got our giveaway tool all set up and ready to go. I have comments that I have pre-peppered in there. So let me go ahead and start the process so we can have our confetti at the end, because we need our confetti at the end. There we go. So far we've got two entries in there because I pre-did it, didn't I? So here we go. I'm going to show you. This is what it looks like in YouTube, and this is what we look like in Facebook. So whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, drop a comment, put hashtag peeps exclamation point, and you too can be a winner chicken dinner. And let's see. I'm going to go ahead and turn that comment on, or the banners off, because it's distracting right now, and you guys know what to do. Hashtag peeps. Grab your cup, meet up in those comments. And I'm going to take this out too. And we can get going with Groucho Marx today. Hide. And there he is. I'm going to come down here so we can see him a little bit better. I find television very educating. Every time somebody turns on the set, I go into the other room and I read a book. Let me do that one more time the correct way. And, with these quotes, what I did was I used stencil for that. I made the template, I think, in Canva, and then I uploaded it to stencil. I did this 5-7 years ago. I found a template, but it was I had stupidly erased it from Canva. Well, actually, Canva erased it, so that wasn't even me being stupid. I uploaded it to Stencil so I can go over it again. I like having both of them. I like Canva and I like Stencil. They just do different things. At least my level of expertise with it, which is had that big huge gap in between there where I wasn't doing much of anything with anything online. So getting back into the groove of things, figuring out how things have changed, and getting my old skill levels back and learning those new tricks. I find television very educating. Every time somebody turns on a set, I go into the other room and read a book. And what I was saying is that when you're seeing these, what I did was, so the main thing was in Canva, and then uploaded it to Stencil, and then Stencil, what you do, especially back then, is you go and find a quote that you wanted to highlight on the internet, and you just would highlight it, literally highlight it, and then that would just directly go into what you were working on. So I didn't these quotes I didn't do anything to the quotes, so whatever mistakes are in these quotes, they were within the quote itself that I uploaded. If that makes any sense whatsoever. And the attribution is in the program, right? So that's how that's done. So the punctuation, the capitalization, the whatever, that's not me. It's like, that's how I found it. If I find television very educating. Every time somebody turns on a set, I go into the other room and read a book. And I've been that way since I was little. I much preferred books over television, even as a little kid. I'd come home from school, aside from the time that my much older sister tried to get me interested in Dark Shadows, the sometimes I'd watch that with her, but most of the time I'd get bored with the TV. My imagination in reading a book was so much more vivid. And even today, I prefer the book version over the film version or the TV version of things. Definitely with Game of Thrones. Definitely with Game of Thrones. The books are just a whole different world than the TV show. I must say, I did watch the TV show and I enjoyed the first 4 seasons. The last 4 seasons, I found myself bristling, and that's not even the 8th season, which we won't even go there, right? And I don't have a TV. I watched it on was it HBO Now is what they called it. I think they call it something different now. But so I and you have a certain you can do it by the month, thank God. So you don't have to like sign up for it and it's for a year or whatever. I just could sign for it for whatever I wanted to watch. And a lot of times these little streaming things, they have just enough of a trial period that's all I need. Is that whatever the trial period is, to satisfy my curiosity when something gets going. Or one of my kids comes down and they've got all the things, right? So then they put like right before Christmas, my younger daughter had a couple visits, and on one of them we binged watched Only Murders in the Building, which I thought was brilliant. That was highly brilliant. That really was. And we binged watched on another one of her visits. We binge watched the Wednesday, which I agree with Jenna Ortega. I'm a Jenna Ortega fan. I think she's right. I would have the same criticism that she had about the show, but brilliant show. Obviously, everybody thought so, but it doesn't need to be just because she's a teenage girl. She doesn't necessarily need a romantic plot twist. I'm glad she spoke up about that, and that's something I was talking to. I'm in a couple book groups, and we were talking about, in one of them, we were talking about AI and how AI is going to affect different writers. And I said, yeah, especially the more formulaic genre writers. And one of the younger girls said, "Oh no, they're not formulaic like they used to be. It's not your mom's Harlequin or whatever. They do X, Y, and Z." And I'm thinking, as she's explaining to me how it's so much different now than it used to be, it's the same. It might be different conventions. They might be wearing different dresses. They might be engaging in different, acts. It might be with different partners, but it's the same formula, right? There is a distinct difference between a more literary treatment of something than formulaic. And that's not to say that that there isn't a place for all of the above, right? Sometimes sometimes a good formula, and I'm looking at a lot of cozy mysteries, good formula, but it's good formula. It can be a good time, but you can see with even with Angela, I was going to say Angela Lansbury, Agatha Christie. Oh my, Mercury retrograde is getting to me today. Even with Agatha Christie, as she got older, she was less in tune to the culture of the day. So she could not do the subtleties. She could still do her own formula, but it was missing because she didn't understand her subtext that she had so gorgeously portrayed in her earlier works. Let's put it that way. Okay, well that's all I got to say, because we need some confetti in our lives. So if you've read a good book lately, let us know. Put it in the comments. Do you like to watch movies and TV shows that you've read the books on? Let us know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And that's whether it's live or it's Memorex, whether it's in the replay, either one. But we'd love to see you live. All right, here we go. we're going to draw because we need some confetti. And I win. I win. Chicken. I win a chicken dinner. And there we go. So you have a blessed weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.